this isn't exactly news, but companies in America, actually companies worldwide, are suing each other again. The patent laws are ridiculous. You can patent breathing, and at some point somebody will, and then we'll all have to pay them money if we wish to breathe, which, you know, it's getting a bit ridiculous, quite frankly. They need to put a stop to these ridiculous patent laws, and these companies need to get a life. A lot of tech sites like to break stuff. It seems more common from what I have seen on the web, that they like to break Apple stuff. I've seen drop tests on iPhones and iPads. I haven't seen one on an Nexus 1. I haven't seen drop tests on HTC devices. Is this because they're not as popular and they just think, well, it's not going to get as much interest? A little bit like writing viruses for Macs and PCs. You know, you target the dominant audience, I guess. And because Apple have one product, if you drop that, then you blanket cover all the Apple customers. But this is a company who actually repair devices, and what they've done is a drop test on the bumper case. Now, my opinion is a bumper case is probably quite similar to a bike helmet, as a lot of these cases are. And what they've done here is dropped an iPhone 3 times in a row and it's broken on the third drop. But I'm interested for these people to do a more accurate test, which would be to, like with a bike helmet, if you have a bike accident, you really should replace your helmet. There's actually new helmets that smell when they release chemicals which smell. So if you have an accident and it breaks the little capsules inside, the helmet smells, so you know that it needs to be replaced. Replace the bumper case, try the drop test again, and after a severe drop like these guys are doing onto concrete, see if that the case then and the phone then both survive. Here's an interesting one. It's software released by Google called App Inventor, which is a drag and drop software package that allows anybody to make apps for Android. Now, is this a good thing? Well, I'm not quite so sure. I think it will see a flood of average or very average apps in the Android store and just make it difficult for people who are trying to find apps in general. What do you think? Now, I just wanted to finish with this. Get a life, people. If you buy an iPhone 4, you don't then join a class action to sue Apple. If you don't like the product, take it back. I don't understand what it is. And no offense, seems to be a bit of an American thing, to just sue people. I think we all remember the Winnebago guy who, on the way home from the car showroom, put on cruise control and went in the back to make himself a cup of coffee. When his Winnebago crashed, he sued them, and I think he got like $20 million. What? This just, it defies comprehension. We don't reward stupidity. If you don't like a product, just take it back. Unfortunately, in Australia, the iPhone hasn't been released yet. So, unlike the other iPhones, we've found that AT&T in America has had a few issues. So I'm interested to see at the end of this month whether those issues are consistent globally or whether it is just something to do with AT&T. Is it just a software issue? Can Apple fix it? There's been consumer tests saying we can cover up the antenna here and we get a drop of signal. Well, I can get a drop of signal on my 3G when I hold it tight enough, and I haven't seen any conclusive videos where people are just touching the phone gently. So the jury's out on that little one, that one little bit, if I can spit the words out. But basically, if you don't like the product, take it back. Apple are a victim of their own success. No other product sells so many. So for some companies who might sell 500 products in the first week, or even 100,000 products in the first week, if they need to do a recall, it's not a big issue. Whereas with Apple, they're a victim of their own success. Doing a recall could potentially be a disaster. I don't know if there's any problems with the iPhone 4 because unfortunately I haven't got my hands on one yet. But I think suing the company and joining class actions, very, very sad. This isn't an Aaron Brockovich situation. Some company hasn't dumped chemicals in your neighbourhood. It is simply a phone. I'm Simon Betts. This is Tech My Life Video, and I'll see you next time. Potential Mac. Here's another little interesting The next interesting one is patent law. Here's another one. So they're actually pushing their own. I don't think it's good, but what the would I know? And I think it just, you know, and the camera from the current iPod